The Congress of Traditional Leaders of South Africa sent a stern warning to initiation schools that will be found operating illegally. It comes as the initiation season is about to begin in a week's time. Contralesa says initiation school operators should also refrain from abducting children without the permission of their parents. It's called on police to be ready to act against any illegal activities that may take place in any of the initiation schools. All right, so more on this chat. We're going to be joined via Zoom by Kgoshi Mathupa Mokoena. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you for your time with us here, Mr. Mokoena.
Thanks very much, Madam. Thanks for having me.
All right, so in about a week's time, the initiation process is set to get underway. And with that initiation season here, as the Congress for Traditional Leaders, are you confident at this point that initiation schools out there are fully equipped to take on the season?
Thank you for a good question, Madam. What we did this time around, we put our foot down. We said no initiation school will go without any permit from either a traditional leader or the king or from the municipality. What we're going to do this time, we want to advise even parents to say, when you took your child to an initiation school, before you can leave your child there, make sure you demand from the ingoma holder to produce a legal document that allows or permits him to have that ingoma. If that document is not there, don't leave your child there. Because the motto this time is that they must go in there alive and come back alive.
At this point, can you confirm how many have enrolled at the legally recognized institutions for initiation season this time round? Has there been an increase in enrollment? What figures are coming through as we speak?
For example, down here in Mpumalanga, we are having not less than 35 initiation schools that have been registered. But in the whole province, we're looking at the figure I got yesterday, it was not less than 75 of those who applied to have an ingoma. But not all of those are going to be approved because we are screening them to check whether you qualify to can have that permit. If not, we are disqualifying you, even if your local traditional leader gave you that permission to have an ingoma. As a Contralesa and as the provincial government, and as the House of Traditional Leaders here in Mpumalanga, and even in the country, we're going to advise that that permit be withdrawn because we wanted zero death this time around. There are people who are using initiation school as an ATM to make money, and hence we are saying not anymore. And if, as a traditional surgeon, you want to conduct the rituals, the doctor must check whether you are fit for a purpose. Any caregiver who will be looking after our kids, we have to check as well whether those people are experienced. And we are saying each and every ingoma holder, you must have a number of a local doctor that if a situation gets out of hand, you are able to jump in quickly. We have declared this year that no child will be assaulted at our initiation school and no child will be deprived to drink water at our school. And no child will be restricted not to take his medication that he was taking when he was still at home. Hence, we want a zero death this time around at our schools.
All right, Mr. Mokoena, so we've spoken about, the schools and how they're going to comply legally. You've also highlighted the number of initiates that have been registered. I wonder if you could speak to the role or the collaboration between government and traditional leaders to ensure that unlawfulness is done away with. I'm asking this because I want to know whether law enforcement officials are also on standby, how they are going to play a role, and also for schools that have been found to not comply, what are you going to do with the initiates? Will there be concession plans in place?
A very good question indeed. Our expectation from government is that they must play their role as well. Their role will be, among other things, when there is an initiation school open in a particular area, government in particular the municipality, they must make sure that the road to the school is user-friendly. And they must also provide Jojo tanks, because we have declared that this time no initiate will be deprived water. The municipality must deliver Jojo tanks at those schools. I'm happy to announce that here in Mpumalanga, each and every initiation school will have a Jojo tank provided for by our Department of Culture. We so wish in other provinces as well, this can happen. Now, the law enforcement agencies, that's where we are found wanting, madam. Because, for example, last year, there were some guys who give fake approvals or fake permits. This was reported to the police. They did not take action. We're saying this time around, I'm happy that we have spoken to the National Commissioner. I've spoken to the Minister, Bekitele, that at this time they must play the ball, because if they don't do that, they are encouraging people to continue having bogus illegal schools. Therefore, we want to appreciate the commitment by our government to say they're going to assist us, and want to warn strongly those who are abducting innocent young boys and take them to the schools without the permission of their parents, that those ones must be arrested with immediate effect. And we are saying to the parents, go and open a case if your child is missing and you did not sign any consent form. The person who has taken your child is liable to be prosecuted, because as a parent, you must give consent first. That's what we want to advise our parents. And our parents as well, please, when you took your child to initiation school, don't sit back and wait for him when he comes back. Make sure that you go and check whether your child is healthy, is fine. If you are not practicing that culture, you can get someone who has been to that school. You can send them to go and check if your child is fine. We are doing this to make sure that if the child is not well, we are able to assist in terms of advising what kind of illness was your child having before going to school.
Yes.
And we are hopeful, if there is this cooperation between ourselves, government, parents, and us as traditional leaders, we must not give permits and sit back and not monitor what is happening at our schools. If that can happen, I can tell you, my dear, that this year, our boys will go in there and come back alive.
Mr. Mokoena, I'm so glad you've outlined how you're going to close the gaps and some of the challenges experienced by those, by some of the initiates over the years, and perhaps the strides that have been taken until we reach the next initiation season, come this week, in fact. Just very quickly in conclusion, because I know time is running out, I want to widen the conversation, and I just want to look at social issues that affect South Africa post-apartheid. The construction of masculinity, the GBV crisis in South Africa, substance abuse at large. I wonder if you have managed to also look at the curriculum and what's taught in initiation, during the initiation season, whether this needs to be reframed or tackled or addressed so that we can address issues of toxic masculinity and misogyny amongst many other issues that affect some of the population in South Africa. Help us understand how you've also managed to mitigate against that this time round.
A good question indeed. What we did this time is that no one must go to the school and try to apply some other things that are foreign to our practice. Because there is this tendency that our boys, some of them, when they go out of school, they came back, become notorious and do some other things that are foreign, that are not acceptable in the community. We're saying if the owner of the Ingoma can be found that he is not doing what is expected of them, we are going to disqualify them or ban them for life, that they must never have an Ingoma again. Want to call upon our initiators as well to say, even if you are at this school, that does not change you to be something else. You remain a human being with respect that you are taught at that school, and you behave normally, if there is anyone who did not go to school, it does not mean that person is inhuman or whatever. He is as human being like you. Is that is not practicing this culture. I want to assure our parents that we'll monitor and make sure that our kids are taught morals that are going to benefit the community, not something else that is foreign when it comes to this practice, my dear.
All right, Mr. Mokoena, let's see what unfolds. Of course, it's set to take place this week. Thank you for your time with us here on the SABC. Mr. Kgoshi Mathupa Mokoena is Contralesa President.